Mm-hmm. Go live for the French fries. What was that? What was that one? What was that one news anchor who was like, "Well, do it live," and he was just like had like a complete like outburst and like on like live TV. Never want to be that guy. Whatever day he was going through, I hope it ended up being better. But yeah, let me know when we are in the webs, in the interwebs. Oh wait, I think we're live on YouTube. We are. Oh yeah, I just got the notification. I love it. Sweet. Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to another Berkeley Poetry Slam. My name is Tino VH Jr. I'm one of the organizers here for Berkeley Slam for Red Oak events. And yeah, once again, it's another Wednesday. It's another poetry night. So that means we're gonna have an amazing show, an amazing lineup of poets gonna be here spitting the truth, their stories, their bravery. So like if you are tuning in, welcome. But before we get started with the show, we do have to do some housewarming stuff, some rules, a little bit of like this, a little bit of that, so we can like, just get the evening rolling. So yeah, most importantly, our obligatory Patreon shout out. So today's show is brought to you by our support over from our generous patrons over on Patreon and our viewers just like you. The show is like, really big and like really rewarding. And we've been going strong since like, 2020, when Rich Oak like took like Berkeley became a part of Rich Oak and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, and it's been really fun keeping basically being a part of the East Bay poetry scene, and keeping that art kind of going. But it has also been really taxing because capitalism, and because like we need money to kind of keep everything going. But like luckily for us, we've had like some really valuable and generous like patrons contribute to us and like give us like funds that we need, like just kind of keep chugging along and everything. So big special shout out to in particular to Renee Edmonds, Emily Chow, Kalela Lee, Stephanie Yaboa, for being regulars here at the show. A big special shout out to Jessica Cozy Chick for sponsoring our weekly workshops. Like if no one knows, like we have workshops before the shows that are free to the public and everything, and a special Risky for the Biscuit thanks to Alice Grimm and Rebecca Abraham for pledging $100 a month to support our venue at the Allen Bluford Center. So yeah, things have been like, it's been overstated over and over again, but things have been crazy because of the pandemic and like, just staying afloat, like, having to pay poets, pay our organizers and everything. It's been like, a hassle, but like, these people love the arts, love what we're doing here, and like, and believe in the mission statement of Rich Oak. So, and if you do too, and you just enjoy what you're seeing here tonight, you can head over to patreon.com/Rich Oak events. And over there, you can sign up for different tiers that you'd like to see. Like you can contribute up to $2 a month, maybe like $30 a month, whatever you feel comfortable with. And everything is tax deductible. Or if you'd like to donate a one-time donation too, you can hit us up at Cash App at Berkeley Slam or Venmo at Rich Oak Slam. So yeah, thank you all so much for your support. And now, with all that out the way, I'm going to proceed with the show. So welcome everybody. As you already know, basically it's going to be a poetry slam. Nothing new, nothing special. It's basically the same rules as we have been doing since like the inception of poetry slam or whatever. So we have basically all the poets you see tonight have 3 minutes to share whatever the hell they want, up to 3 minutes and 10 seconds, because after the 10-second grace period after the 3 minutes, they will be deducted points. And if you go over the 4-minute mark, you will be muted. And that is the most uncomfortable type of silence you can give. I've seen someone going in on their poem and the screen, and like you just hear nothing. Because like it is no longer your poem time anymore. It is time for basically to keep the show rolling. Like so please, poets, like if you have that long poem, maybe tonight isn't the night. Please come share that poem with us over at our sister show, The Alchemy Open Mic. More on that later tonight. Yeah, poets, no props, no musical accompaniment, no nudity. We are on their interwebs. This is not the hub. Save that for another website. But like we appreciate all y'all being here. So there's that. But like I said, no props, no musical accompaniment. Those will generate a penalty towards your time or towards your total score and everything. So don't do it and whatnot. So and then obviously the top 5 poets of this evening will be moving on to round 2. Yeah, everyone here is going to be spitting something original, something that belongs to them, something true. So like audience members, if you're at home, I want y'all to cheer for them, because this isn't easy. It's very, very difficult. And if you're not going to cheer for like the work or the poetry or the art, like, at least cheer for bravery, because these poets are doing things that you're not doing. What are you doing at home? Just sitting at home watching us on a couch being comfy. That's great. I love that for you. But you could also be spitting poetry too. So yeah, be amazing, be grateful, be share the space with us and everything. Poets, actually, I forgot to say this. We have another rule, and it's actually kind of not even a rule. It's more of a gimmick. It's ancestral gaslighting. It's a word of the day. Here at the Berkeley Slam, we have this tradition called Word of the Day, where like we make our poets force a word into their poem organically somehow to make it so they can gain an extra point towards the total point average or everything. So yeah, so the word of the day today is winsome. It's an adjective, and winsome means to generally pleasing or engaging, often because of a childlike charm and innocence, winsome, smile, cheerful, lighthearted. So poets, if you use this word winsome in your poem, you will get an extra point. Only use it, and this bonus point is only available for round one. So if you're like, oh my God, this poem will work so much better for my round two poem, maybe bring up your round two poem like into round one, or try to fit that poem in your round one poem, your word into your round one poem a little more better. Yeah. So audience members, like I said, y'all have rules at home. First, I want all of you to pull out whatever device you're on right now, just like, tap out for a second and like, share, and subscribe over on Facebook at Berkeley Poetry Slam. Like, share, and subscribe over us at Twitter at Berkeley Slam, also our IG at Berkeley Slam. Over there, you can stay up to date with like all our stuff that is like, like all our shows, when we're coming, who's featuring next week, like, when you can get the next workshop or whatever, like you trust me, like we do 7 shows a month or whatever on a roughly basis with like 7 workshops. So you don't want to miss anything we're doing. And if you do, you can catch us next week or the week after. I don't know, but go and subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of those notifications. So yeah, and then once you're on there, comment our feed. Let these poets know how much you love their poems. Like, be more enthusiastic about the person than you would be at an in-slam show. Like, and you know how you get at an in-slam show. Like, you get hype about the poems. Like, but also know that what you hear tonight and what you say tonight, like, in response to anything you hear, freedom of speech doesn't equal freedom from accountability. And that means sometimes you will hear some challenging things tonight that might, like, question your perspective. There might be some things that you hear tonight that might be fucked up. And, you can let those people know. Have a meaningful, engaging conversation with them to be like, hey, I don't like what you said there. So here's, my 2 cents or whatever. And it just doesn't make, accountability. That's what accountability looks like. And then like, if it evolves into something like that, like, it's a conversation that still needs to be had. So thank you all so much, like, for being respectful, for being on top of each other, and also just like, wanting to engage in each other in a dialogue, because that's what community should actually be like, trying to hold each other in a space and in a dialogue. And if that can't happen, then it can't happen. Like, so like, there is that, and I can't guarantee that sometimes like everyone's going to agree with you or want to have that conversation with you. So, practice that at your own discretion. So yeah, so here we go. We got our rules. We got our audience members, judges. I forgot to tell y'all. Y'all got some rules too. Judges, feel free to message our scorekeeper right now. Let them know who is judging tonight. But basically, judges have the biggest responsibility of like being judgmental towards the art. What does that mean? They have to put a number from 0 to 10, quantifying the poem. 0 being the worst thing they've ever fucking heard. 10 being the best thing they ever heard. 0 being like, you're packing, and then you realize you're out of tape, and then you realize like, nothing's ever gonna fit, and then you realize like, like the boxes that you had are actually like paper mache, and so like, as soon as you step outside, it starts raining, and everything you just finished packing undid itself, like, and that's only like a 2. A 10 is like a little more closer to like, everything's packed. You got like people like who did the stuff already for you. Like you just got back from work and everything's all good to go. Nothing got stolen. Everything got tied up in a pretty bow. Like, like everything is basically done for it. It's all loaded in the van, waiting for you to be hauled off to your next spot. And that's only like a 9.2. So like I said, there's not a lot of 0s. There's also not a lot of 10s. Judges, please score accordingly. At the beginning of the show, we'll have a calibration poet. And this poet is someone who is going to be not a part of the show, but will be slamming like they are a part of the show, just to warm y'all up and get y'all a little more accommodated with like what to expect for the night. And then also like a big tip for the judges, if you like the calibration poet a little more than the poets who are slamming, you might want to score those poets a little lower. But if you like the poets who are scoring, sorry, I said that wrong. If you like the calibration poet a little less than the poets who are slamming, maybe you want to score those poets a little higher. But if the calibration poets are like, you know what, their poem's doing a little better than all of them, like, you know, you want to score them a little lower. That's kind of like the rubric that you have for tonight. So like maybe somewhere in like wherever you're keeping score at, maybe like, you know, circle off the sacrificial poet got an 8.9 or the sacrificial poet got a 7.2, whatever you think that poet is. But that's kind of your rubric for the rest of the night. Yeah, let's see. Judges, poets, announcements, Patreon spiel. Let me tell y'all who we have on this lineup for tonight, because we actually have a pretty good lineup. We have 6 poets tonight, so we're gonna be taking everybody into round 2. So in this order, competing in round 1, we have Reggie, we have Mai, we have Jog Days Are Over, we have Chev, we have Vita Manzo, and we have Colin. Please give it up for all the poets competing for tonight. Unmute yourselves and show some fucking love to all these poets, please.
Woo.
Oh. All right, that was terrible. I need y'all to do this one more time. Show some love for the fucking poets that you're gonna see tonight.
Woo.
Shit.
Woo.
Actually, that's a lot better. Come on. Alrighty. Like I said, poetry is not easy, and I expect all of you in here in this Zoom to cheer each other on. Yeah, alrighty. So we have our poets, we have our slam. Let's get started, y'all. Actually, no, we're not ready yet, because we have something a little more special. Not special. We have something to, like I said, to do before the show. We have to have our sacrificial poet start us off. So let's see. In the hole, where did my list go? What happened there? Alrighty. In the hole, we have Mai. Crowning, we have Reggie. But please, everybody, put your hands together for your sacrificial poet of the night, Tino.
Woo!
Woo.
También de este lado hay sueños. On this side too, there are dreams. Janine Cummings. And so I should be grateful she put a brown face on the mask of an unnamed immigrant. And so I should be able to see my parents in her book, Call American Dirt, a true immigrant story, written by a white woman, a voice for the voiceless. Here is our white woman savior. Here is her writing, galloping in to save the brown people, to upend the violence, conquer the bad hombres. Here, I ask for a cut from royalties to support my family, and she calls me ungrateful. 7-figure book deals and 69,000 kids in cages later, she is still comfortable. Uses her American visa to unfurl the wall for herself. When I say she's profiting from a story that does not belong to her, she calls Latinos a product of the cartel, a border, another El Dorado that is satiated with the proper pillage. I call her white noise, and she proceeds to create an abundance of static. She begins to sob and say how sorry she is to Bob the prophet. I mean, humanize my parents. Janine hides behind her tears the way all white women do. I tell her white women are synonymous with invasion to me, and she begins to cry more. All white women ever do is embellish a narrative and cry when they are called liars. Says no one appreciates her work. Her white audience is still buying it, are quick to comfort her and then heckle me. I tell her I'm uncomfortable how quickly she can make herself the victim. Like I haven't tried to cast my family as resilient, just to have her write them off as hopeless. And yes, I am bitter how all our stories survive because of us, handed down from generation to generation, just for her to call it anthropology. How she can say la frontera, but her voice is the wall. Undocumented people, they have to crawl over. How she can quote everything, and people believe it fell from her mouth first. También de este lado hay sueños. On this side too, there are dreams. Armando Alanis Puñuelo. Get it right, Janine. None of this work is yours. These aren't stories you can bleed dry. Feminism's so American, it's new wave imperialism. White savior so well-meaning, I empty my pockets in exchange for someone else's trauma. She must think this is some kind of mercy. She must think we're incapable of escaping our own violence. She must think she's doing us a favor. No one is voiceless, not the way you claim us to be, Janine, but you aren't interested in making yourself a platform for us. Fuck your book. Here, I'm ready to write you out of existence. Here is all the money you made a profit of given back to the people. Here, I will upend the violence. It begins with you, Janine, and exiling you from your spaces to expose you for what you are. White noise performing brown face. White woman still colonizer. White woman still violent. Alrighty, y'all, give it up for your sacrificial poet.
Woo!
Woo! Judges, this is gonna be the shortest amount of time I'm gonna give y'all for y'all to look up your scorekeeper, send them your scores, because yeah, we need to get the show rolling. And I want to announce what the scores are. So if you don't know who your scorekeeper is, should be Profit. Y'all should have sent them scores already. Let them know. And I also forgot to mention, poets, really big rule. I know because we're on Zoom and just Zoom technology, make sure like you have the opportunity to say, mic check, can you hear me before your poem starts? So, and that won't be deducted towards your time. Cool. I mean, I forgot I didn't mention that earlier. Yeah. Okay. Moving forward. In the hole, we have Dog Days Are Over. Crowning is mine, but being born on this stage right now, our first poet of round one. Please, everybody, put your hands together for Reggie.
Woo! Let's go.
Let's go, poet.
Can you hear me?
You're good.
I do not wear acrylic nails because niggas like to have problems, and I like to fight. And I can't form a fist without scratching myself, and every man thinks every drop of red is his to take, and bleeding makes me look way too easy. I can't lie. Whenever I'm called a faggot in public, a part of me smiles because I know exactly the kind of violence I am capable of. I got a California summer's worth of smoke for that ass. Wildfire faggotry, unbridled rage. I try not to look weak because who am I to deceive a man into an early grave? Like I won't drag him through the same streets he tried to bury me in. I once heard an OG say, don't let them gay niggas fool you. You will get your ass beat in your girlfriend's clothes. And I said yes, because a bruised cheek is nothing compared to what could happen to me if I don't get my hands up fast enough. Cocksucker becomes cock gun, becomes cock dead in a ditch on Sunday evening. She made the news Monday morning, but the whole city is chanting a name that was dead long before she was. Even in death, I have too much shit to worry about besides a nigga who lets an unruly tongue get his ass beat. I got too much forever in my blood to die. Too much fight in my knuckles to break against a nigga that's too soft to accept my existence without invalidating his own. Don't forget, violence is a two-way street, and I have always been a damn good driver, yes. Dick beneath this skirt. Do not let this be the reason you die tonight. Do not let this be the reason that I lose $10 worth of plastic off the tips of my fingers because press-ons snap off easy in a fight if you only use the glue tabs. Only ghetto bitches know that. Only ghetto bitches used to being called ghetto bitches as a threat know that, and I have survived more than you. Every grave with my name on it has coughed up another man's bones. Every death I have faced has crumbled in my fist. I am one step above a bad bitch and one below invincible. Don't fucking play yourself and mind your business. I promise you, it will help you stay alive.
Give it up for the poet. Some love. Alrighty, just to read some comments through the thing, because like I said, we love to show love here at a poetry slam because why not? We're a bunch of like depressed people who like to write about our feelings. Like I think that's so fucking brave, honestly. So some of the comments that I got, write poem, let's go Tino, yes, hell yes, let's go. Yeah. Telling you, everyone here in this community is very supportive and everything, and you should be too in your comment section at home while you're watching this on your couch. Yeah. So yeah, our previous poet, our sacrificial poet, myself, got a 27.4. Fuck that score, but give it up for the poet, give it up for the poem, and like I said, give it up for all the poems tonight. Like like I expect major enthusiasm for everyone here tonight. But yeah, let's see. Going back to my list, in transition, we have Chev. Crowning its dog days are over, but being born on this stage right now, everybody please show some love for my...
Can y'all hear me?
Loud and clear.
Yes.
I want to give a content warning for mentions of death. My first poem attempting to describe or release death. Silence sounds like a dog whistle that only I can hear, like not even the dogs can hear it, but I can, and it's so annoying. Silence sounds like a soft breeze on a hot day, like a day that's way too hot for anything. Silence sounds like the empty space after a diagnosis is given. Sounds like a flat line that shouldn't be there. Sounds like funerals in between trees. Chorus voices bleed blue at the altar, a humbled tone so cold. A voice so low it freezes over, waiting to crack. My skin lays death down, a burial of body into bruises, a memorial of the emotions I tried to save. My brain becomes jagged, my brain's the thorn on roses, always looking for a way into myself. My body a well, always drowning itself while trying to become full and or whole. My body drowning in its own purpose and or perception. Mouth is procedural, only knows to follow orders. A tongue so sterile it eats away at teeth. Silence is the contraction of teeth into jaw. Is the only contraption tongue could ever fold itself into, the only tool lips could spit out. Silence is and always will be the loudest art of taking, the only way tongues spill hope out from brains and call it giving. Silence. My first poem, including a future. When I'm old, I will have a sage green backsplash. I will have far too many plants in my living room. I will spend my days dancing by myself, jump until my bones shatter. Kaleidoscope the sum of my soul into body parts, crack my being into whispers of these memories. When I'm old, I will have sunflowers in my backyard. I will have an endless supply of lemonade and cookies. My body will be shrinking, but the stars will be gone. Stretched skin replacing the places I was missing from myself, and all I'll have left will be these memories. I will reminisce these winsome moments of living so brightly that the memories will blind me. I will spend eternity reliving this compilation of window shattering, full plates, empty bowls, counting spare change till it's bus money, empty bottled everything. I have spent so long waiting to die, waiting to snap veins so they could be strung by a guitar, wanted my body to mean something. I learned how to shut down when asked questions. I could fill a notebook with nothing just to shut up. A therapist taught myself to look fine for long enough to just go home. And she threaded the pain out of me with a lighter, sweatshirts, black coffee, and a needle. I will spend eternity reliving this compilation of soon empty streets, blankets next to the open window, buying you a lavender latte with quarters, empty bottled everything. There is so much time for dying when we're old, and when I am gone, I will ask God why you had to get to me so damn late. And when I am gone, I will forget the sound of silence. Thank you.
Give it up for the poet.
Let's go, Brandon.
I love it, y'all. Where's the chat? Oh, that's right. I minimized the screen. That's why there is no chat. Give me 1 second. Chat's right here. Our previous poet, Reggie, I believe, yeah, no, where was it? Our previous poet got a 28.3. Fuck the score. Please give it up for the poet.
That's for
There we go.
all for the poet.
Awesome.
All for the poet.
Hey, exactly. Perfect. If you're fucking with the writing that you hear tonight, like, and you're really just like, wow, that line stuck out to me, or like, I really wish I had the time and or space to like write something as elegant, as beautiful as what I just heard, because that really touched me. Well, let me tell you something. We have a writing workshop that we host before all our shows. I mean, yes, before Berkeley Slam, our sister show Oakland Slam, and our sister show Alchemy Open Mic. And these workshops are all free and open to the public. Just follow us on Instagram, either on Berkeley Slam, Oakland Slam, or Rich Oak Alchemy, to learn about these workshops and everything. But yeah, they're usually, the ones in Berkeley here are usually hosted by our features who come here on a weekly basis and rock our stage with us, like, you know, and it's a rotating like wheelhouse of poets. Wheelhouse isn't the right proper word, but we're gonna run with it. Wheelhouse of poets who basically come here, rock with us, and give you an amazing prompt, a space to talk about, like, you know, what it is like you want to write, and then, like, you know, kind of just let you do your thing, like, you know. So if you really want to, you really fuck with that, and you like enjoy spaces that are free and predominantly run by, like, you know, like people of color, like, you know, come through. I don't see why you shouldn't, like, you know, come to be a part of our space and everything. So yeah, just follow us up and over at Berkeley Slam on Instagram, or Oakland Slam on Instagram, or Rich Oak Alchemy on Instagram. All of those just being one word. And yeah, you can find the Zoom meeting ID over there, log in, have a good time with us. It's really great. Yeah, and you'll learn more about the person who ran that workshop earlier today. But yeah, let me continue on with the show because we have a list to get through. So in transition, we have Vita Manzo crowning is chef, but being born on this stage right now, our third poet of round one. Give it up for Dog Days Are Over.
Mic check.
You're good.
White people fucking love getting my attention in Santa Cruz, California. My brown boy glance a blessing to your savior complex. My gaze melding with yours like you deserve it. My presence, your opportunity at proving your colorblind intellect by crucifying my attention. My body, a museum for your gawking gaze. My bare body jogging, an invitation for your commentary like, damn, this is exactly what femme passing people endure every damn time that they kiss the street with calloused feet. I'd be mad as hell too, shit. My male privilege crawls out my throat and is painted a brown but can still scream. Never have I jogged and felt like spectacle just for existing. Old ass white dude jaywalks to U-turn behind me in broad fucking daylight. I fucking book it. I am liminal, split in my anxiety. If my male is threatening and my brown spectacle, then maybe femme is museum in the eyes of putrid men all gawk and touch, consentless and dick-brained. My cousin said sometimes she deals with this shit every single fucking day, no matter what she wears for armor. And for me, it's usually white teen sardine grouped into bands like COVID isn't still chokehold in America. I backpack my journey on the sidewalk and I'm yelled at to stay in school as if I'm not a fucking UCSC senior. The only white people I give my attention to are 1, friendly strangers, who don't talk with an edge in their voice at the sight of my melanin. 2, friends who are willing to listen to my narrative. 3, and maybe artists not colonizing the cornucopia of another culture's vibrant colored drenched tongue, as in I only give my winsome attention to any canvas that refuses to stay blank, and pearly milk knows the absence of color means the bleach-stained erasure of millions of genocided bodies. Just minutes after drafting out this poem, I'm walking down the moonlit street, shorelines not loud enough to shelter my ears from the crazy yell of fuck from across the street, a fucking white dude triggering my fight or flight, as in a fucking lighthouse of a dude disguises itself as siren and tries beckoning me shoreward. Fuck, my ex-boyfriend suggests air horn to at least break some form of silence. Fuck, and I laugh at his wit, and I laugh at the stupidity of white lighthouses, and I laugh I am privilegedly safe. Ha! I'm safe.
Give it up for the poet. Give it up for Dog Days Are Over. One more time. Show some love. I'm seeing all the mic drops and the hearts in the comment section. It's been, these scroll back hella far, and the fire signs too. Give it up for the fire signs. Give it up for the Leos and the Sagittariuses And the Aries.
Aries.
And all the zodiac signs and everything. I'm just being facetious right now. I'm putting the fire signs first because reasons. Bigotry, one would say. Anyway, but yeah, thank y'all so much for showing love and everything. I have a quick announcement to make because on the topic of showing love, some people who have shown us love at like someone who I want to talk about right now are Lucas Taproom, because they've shown us a lot of love actually since like 2019, because they reached out to us for Oakland Slam to wanting us to like move into there like and have our show be there. And while that was a really good time and everything, Lucas is actually closing at the end of this month. And so once again, the Oakland Slam curse has hit us, and we will not be at our venue for Oakland Slam, unfortunately. But like they are closing at the end of the month, and they've been such a supportive and great venue. Like, we feel like y'all should still go over there and support them too. So they'll be operating until the 29th. They are over at 2021 Broadway, Oakland, California. Feel free to look them up at Lucas Taproom and Lounge at like on the website and everything, and like order some takeout. Maybe bring a friend down there for a drink or something. Like, be safe, bring a mask, everything. Like, part of the reason why we like couldn't be there this month is because like of COVID surge and everything. Like, so be mindful of like going to go visit there, but also going to support there and patron them. They've been a really amazing venue, and like we could not thank them. And like Lucas, Mitch and Maria, Maria and my God, I am just butchering everybody. Maria and Rick Mitchell have just been really amazing, and like getting us in there, like been super like on top of it, making sure like even when we're outside, like getting us what we need to be sustainable. And so yeah, it's an end of an era for us, but like for the meantime, we'll be having Oakland Slam online until we can lock down a new venue, until coronavirus here in the Bay gets a little more like tame, whatever that is. And like I encourage everybody to like practice safety, like double mask if you need to, boost yourself if you need to, like if you're immunocompromised, like look out for your folks, like because we've proven that we only have each other. So like so do your best like to support each other and like keep each other safe in like these really, really trying times. Enough about that. Our previous poet, Mai, got a 28.9. So let's fuck the scores, but show some mad love to the poet from like for the first round. Show some love to Mai. Woo! Awesome. And then we're gonna continue on with this slam. So in the hole, we have Colin. Crowning is Vita Manzo, but being born on this stage right now, everybody please put your hands together for Shad.
Woo! Woo!
Can you hear me?
Yes.
After Carbon's Lassant, on the day that my life doesn't matter, probably after police have stopped my heart in front of people it beats for, forcing me from man to martyr to movement to memory, and forcing my mother to stitch back together the pieces in her smile. Your most highly touted of news outlets, carrying only the most important of information, will be sure to inform all of you that I was no angel. They'll call my non-compliance a deadly sin. They'll tell you no amendment protected my right to bear this blackness, or a cell phone. They would dig through my closet and ask my skeletons to get my obituary and do anything possible to convince you that my murder was an act deserving of a paid vacation. So to those who knew of me, please, when they leave these bullet holes in my story, if nothing else, tell them my name. Tell them that my parents gave it to me when it was all that they had to give. That I was one who only dreamt in the daytime because I thought the night stars were too beautiful to miss. Tell them I found stars in the eyes of a girl who now I was never going to get that last name out of her. Tell them I was winsome enough to make Cupid blush, but so irresponsible he thought me a waste of his arrows. Tell them I laughed as though I had all the time in the world, but cried as though I saw this coming. Because where I'm from, we wear matching hoodies with the Reaper, so he doesn't have trouble. I'm like, doesn't have trouble finding us. We're buying the black kids' birthday present before the date itself is more gamble than gifts. So Tell them I gave. Didn't matter if my glass was half empty or half full, as long as we could pour into others. Tell them we were poor. We didn't always have 2 cents to rub together, so we learned to do it with our hands. We called it prayer, called it church, made it of each other, wrapped in each other as tightly as the kinks in our hair. We called it love, painted it black because that was the only color we ain't seen it come in yet. Tell them that we just wanted to see things like the world, like tomorrows, like examples of people whose bodies equated to more than their police descriptions. And I found some in my afterlife. Well, ancestors taught lessons using an ungentrified textbook. I thought it was crazy. Then deaf, they were teaching me what type of person I was, yet in life, no one even told me I was a person. It read, your name is Siobhan. Age, old enough to say I'm fucking up, but young enough to still just call it learning. Gender, mind your business. Ethnicity, age, okay. Real nigga, as in like real nigga with a GA from East Atlanta, GA, where anyone who wants to use an ER get put in one. Tell them I was a Stevie Wonder morning, followed by a Stam Cook night. Tell them I loved like I spoke. Loud as hell, often without thinking, but never without purpose. I was 6'1". Mama said, boy, you better stand every damn inch of it. Like a lot of us, I learned to love basketball before myself. Often measure my masculinity and my vertical leap. I was a Virgo. I know what the hell that meant, except I was born in September, which means I was born, which means I had a mother, which means I was somebody's son. So tell them I shined as though I was somebody's son and burned as though I was somebody's son, one that only dreamt in the daytimes that thought a black sky was too beautiful to miss. I call it heaven's tinted window. Peered through it as I rode shotgun with a guy who ain't heard from them in a bit and wanted to know who exactly they'd been praying to. And if by some off chance it was Jesus, I wonder if he told them that being perfect did not keep him from being killed. So when they tell you I was no angel, just tell them they're right. And that it doesn't matter. My life did.
Okay.
Gang, 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 gang. Give it up for the poet. Give it up for Chef, y'all.
I'm crying right now.
Love. I forgot to mention this, but the last 2 poets from my end had a little bit of a technical difficulty. So judges, if you hear your technology spaz out or for whatever reason, like, you know, there's a little like tech stuff or whatever, try to judge the poem as best you can off what you hear and everything, just to give everybody a fair shot across the board. Sometimes, like, you know, technology can be a little wonky. So yeah, just judge the poem as best you can of what you hear and the content of the poem. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Yeah. Our previous poet, let me gotta scroll back. I swear, y'all, every single poet, y'all are showing so much love, and that's why I have to keep scrolling back. Previous poet got a 27.5. Dog days are over. How do we feel about that score? Because I say, fuck that score. Can we show some love for the poet?
Fuck that score.
Exactly.
Where are the 10s?
Where are the 10s? One of our audience members says, I would like to know. But that's for y'all to determine. So in transition is our lovely, lovely feature, Camila. You're going to hear more about them in a second. Crowning is Colin, but being born on this virtual stage right now, give it up for our penultimate poet of round 1, Vita Manzo.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. I'm gonna do something kind of bold. I'm just gonna read a haiku I wrote. It's called Her Big Red Suitcase. A trans girl can fold her clothes into her suitcase for only so long. Thank you.
Give it up for the poem, y'all. Judges, once again, do your thing. Send your score over to our scorekeeper. I know that's the fastest turnaround. That's completely okay. Poems are going to be poems. So yeah, our previous poet, thank you. Actually, and also judges, thank you for being so on top of it, because my scorekeeper is just like giving me the scores immediately. But yeah, our previous poet, Chev, got a 29.2. Fuck that score. Show some love to Chev one more time for the round 1 poem. Gang, 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 gang. In transition is round 2, the money round. Crowning is our amazing, beautiful feature that we got lined up for y'all. But being born on this stage right now is our last poet of the round. Please give it up for Colin.
Oh, Colin, let's go.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Drunk text to God. Hey, big head. Why you don't answer your phone no more? I just want to ask you a few questions like, how you live in water and all these niggas dying? You too good for us now? Too holy to perform an actual miracle? You know, anyone can turn water into wine, but can you turn cancer into a memory? Like you do a body, a face, a family member? Ain't we family? Are we not all your children? Like, did you mourn her like you do a daughter? Do any of your prayers ever turn to eulogies? I was taught to fear what you can do, but have come to fear what you won't. Like, how can you be so silent? Fault us for falling for the whispers of temptation. Anyone can turn water into wine, but only you can turn a sinner to saint and back to sinner. You know, the last time I went to church was the same year my grandmother died. 16 years of prayer, and it only amounted to grief. So how much was her soul worth? Was it my bones, my blood, the collective tears of an entire bloodline? You know, I didn't want to hit you up like this, but something in the bottom of this bottle got me wanting to hit up everyone who ever hurt me. I don't have any of my ex's numbers, so instead I went to the church, bowed my head and prayed, dear God, dear God, dear God, God, they say you work in mysterious ways, and I call cap bullshit. Sounds like something a deadbeat dad says with winsome smile when he gets asked why he only showed up 20 years later and where he been all the time. Hell, nigga, where you been all this time? You coming back or nah? And it's not like I'm asking for the second coming. Maybe like first and a half, or maybe just half of a second. I don't need to hear the trumpets blow. Clouds don't need to part. They say you are omnipresent, everywhere, all the time. But maybe just once you can just be here. I mean, not that I really want you here.
Woo!
Give it up for the poet one more
Literally,
time. Show some
goddamn.
love. Show some love to Colin, because that is the end of round one. My God, that is the end of round one. Everybody, please show some love for all the poets who came here tonight and spit their truth. Give it up for all the bravery. Yeah, poetry. Everything about this is amazing to me. I unfortunately have to stay neutral, so all y'all have to show love for me. But yeah, that's where we're at. Our scorekeeper will get our scores to me in a second, but it is that time of the evening where we show you our amazing feature of the evening. If anybody who doesn't know who the feature is tonight, oh my God, let me tell you, you're in for a wild one. Okay, before I do that, score for our previous poet, and oh, Colin got a perfect 30. How do we feel about that, folks?
Hell yeah!
Woo!
I love it. 30s are we used to call those legendaries back at the Word Church in Santa Cruz that unfortunately died. But yeah, there's that. So here we are moving on to an amazing feature, because we don't have to be sad. We're gonna have an amazing feature coming through right now. So if you don't know, our feature tonight is Camila. Xicana woman, warrior, student, educator, and poet. I'm reading their bio right now. Born in Sacramento and raised in San Diego, Camila has slammed since the age of 14 and competed in the 2017 National Poetry Slam on Team Oakland. For over a decade, she has workshopped performance poetry with underserved youth, confronting issues such as family incarceration, addiction, violence, intergenerational trauma, mental illness, sexism, racism, through spoken word and storytelling. Camila currently teaches spoken word poetry classes to elementary and middle school age students in Hayward Unified School District. Yeah, that's just the two cities over here from Oakland. It's still part of the East Bay and everything. Yeah, this poet is amazing. It's someone who I've seen their work very briefly up, but I like deeply admire like the things they've said and also like the work that they're doing currently and everything. So yeah, I can continue showing this poet and praising them with flowers, but I'd rather let their poetry speak for themselves. So everybody, please welcome our amazing feature tonight, Camila, to the stage.
Hey. Hello, hola, ¿cómo estás? Big love to all of these genius, radiant poets. It's humbling as hell to be here. So without further ado, my name is Camila or Camila. My students call me Miss Mila, but if you are my mama or papa and real upset with me, then it's Camille in all caps at the top of your lungs, typically from the other side of the house. So unless you're my mama or papa, don't be calling me Camille. All right, so we in some real wild times, y'all, okay? You know, at this point, I was really thinking about it. On a dollar bill, it should say in N95, we trust, you know? It's at that point now, you know? We in the middle of like a surge with room temperature leadership. There's all these variants circling around, you know, Delta, Omicron, and then there's all these other viruses that we're navigating at the same time with variants with names like Karen, you know, Trump, Jeff Bezos. I just want to give big love to all of us navigating hella pandemics at once, you know, some that started in 2020, some that started in 1492. So
talk about it.
Just want to talk about it a little bit. So anyway, let's go ahead and just start off with some a good old American riddle, okay? Just a little riddle. All right. So don't mind me if you hear any noise. That's my housemate paying rent here in the Bay Area, as you know. Here I am. Okay, so a riddle. Are y'all ready for a riddle though?
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. So, all right. A good old American riddle. Right. You steal a person, right? Stick with me. You steal a person and you're called a prison or a detention center. You steal a neighborhood and you're called a land developer. You steal a country and baby, you're called a state. You steal food when you're homeless and hungry. And the prison, the land developer, and the state all look at you and call you a thief. Ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit? So moving along, cause again, wild times. I've been slamming since I was 14 years old, writing since before that. And the slam scene really is, this is my first time slamming over Zoom. So it's like strange. I'm imagining people and like, this is where the creativity comes through. But yeah, I'm really hyped to be here. And since it is a poetry feature, I mean, like, what is a poetry feature without some shit about heartbreak, right? Like, right? Like, are we really poets if we don't talk about who fucked us up? Like,
oh my God,
who took our love? What we don't have receipts for that we wish we could take back. So here we are, okay? All right, Llorona. Llorona tears taste like agua florida, sad girl of salt and water, bitch. Mira, look at you. All goofy eyes and poofy eyes and belly ache, big belly swelling up again. Better rub your sad baby. Give it permission to be born as poetry written on napkins in bathroom stalls and skin. Llorona, did you know? Google says crying releases oxytocin and natural opioids. Meaning, cabrona, get high as hell as you heal. Bitch, get fucked up. This is the time to get high on your own supply. My God, get high. Spirit making its own lean shit. Lean on it, loca. Chale, it didn't work out, shit. Big surprise. Now we look to the lovers still making it work within 2 kidneys, 2 lungs, 2 fallopian tubes, 2 ovaries, body, a litany of how to make it work on our motherfucking own. Put on Aaliyah, put on Solange, put on Selena. You're beautiful when you cry, bitch. Santissima of sadness and sass, brown-eyed, holy, get faded on this messy, familiar feeling, an unfamiliar freedom. P.S. You don't need them. All right, moving things along. Yeah, that heartbreak, you know, that's really always some nice fertile soil for poetry. So that's some new shit. All right, so I don't know how this works, like, and normally I would be able to do call response, but give a shout out by yourself on your couch or whatever if you have ever had the privilege and luxury of riding a urine scented Greyhound bus across the state, because I know I have. I just have been on that Greyhound so many damn times. So yeah, pre-pandemic, I was a longtime customer of the Greyhound. And this is even after, let me tell you, a bus caught fire on the middle of the freeway in Livermore. And I subsequently had to Uber all the way to Berkeley from Livermore for classes later that day. I was still a Greyhound girl, okay? I was all about that Greyhound life. It is an experience, someone said. It is an experience. Yeah, so yeah, the fire was pretty wild. Yeah, I woke up from a nap and saw the smoke and I was like, oh, wow, I'm in danger, you know? But what was even more dazzling was being harassed by Border Patrol on the bus. Yes, so coming up from San Diego, which is where a lot of my familia is, Border Patrol stopped us on the 5 and proceeded to bother all folks faintly appearing of the Latinx lineage, you know? So they asked me which children were mine, demanded my papers, where I was going, etc. And this poem is one of those poems where it's like, shit, I wish I could have said in that moment, but no, like, I couldn't. So without further ado, Greyhound bus smells like piss and gasoline. Window spins, neon lights like a penny machine. Quinceañera dresses, cash checks here, bail bonds in liquor stores. Funky bus stops on the 5. Tall pink man shines flashlight all over our black eyes. Are these your children? Are these my children? Yes, Chip. Yes, Roger. Yes, America, you cheerful, winsome motherfucker. These, in fact, are all my children. All 55 of the passengers, the bus driver too. What can I say? I started young. You know us Hispanics are real fertile. Look, this one is Gordo and this one is Nini. And I got another one on the way. I dragged my big belly across North Santa Fe to get here. No, please, don't make me stand up. Mira, don't tell nobody, but I swallowed 792 pellets of some good, strong shit called payback, and my panza's a little bit woozy. Where are you going? No, to Oakland, you know, maybe we'll get off early in Los Angeles or Santana. Pues who knows, you know, maybe I'll stop and visit Tío Carlos at Soledad State. No. That's not a college, baby. That's a prison. See, if he's not in solitary, I'd like to speak with him. May I see your papers, please? Oh, yeah. Papers? Look, man, I got papers right here, man. I got backwoods, buglers. Oh, those papers. Oh, mira, those don't even go back that far, pendejo. Where are your bones and ancestors, fucker? Because we got millions of bones and ancestors right here beneath the I-5, beneath this dinky old bus. Hey, beneath your left combat boot is my great abuelita Carmen de la Chinga la Migra. And if you'll pardon me, we'll really need to get going. My children are hungry and tired, and ooh, Dios, these pellets gotta come out sometime soon. All right. Yes,
Oh
Carmen de la Chinga la Migra. Somebody said, I was like, yes. That is her name, a family name, if you will. Okay, moving forward through some poesía. So, La Virgen de Guadalupe. Okay. La Virgen de Guadalupe, a question of consent. The day that Maria hung herself, she grabbed Gabriel by the neck and the sound came booming into her again. This time growling just about who in the hell he was, and she sucked in her cheeks and grinned. Oh, honey, aren't you all gods? Red girl wet without want. The coming of the Lord, the coming of the Lord. Before she kicked the mopping bucket, she carved out her teenaged rib and gazed up at him and told him, everlasting, omnipotent, go home, deliver your own children.
Bars.
I always thought, I'm like, why don't we ever talk about if the Virgin Mary, who at that time was likely 14 years old, gave consent? Did she consent to carrying the Son of God? You know? Anyway, at 3 a.m, angels with tattoos on their necks hum hymns for hymns, braless and bold as stigmata marked by the nails of John's and Paul's, diablitos who chain smoke Pall Malls and get off on no and nailing the holy. Mira Maria, her halo the color of neon strip club signs, blue black hair braided for the coming. Palms pressed in 6-inch acrylics. Santa smudged the streets with burning quartz crystals. Some call it crank or Tina. Pupils black and round as God, Lady of Fatima and fentanyl. Christ breaks up bread on motel bathroom counters for the feeling of the 5,000. How much more time I got, y'all? Just to be.
You got like two. You got like time for one or two more, like 2 short ones, maybe one long one.
I'll do one. One that I had someone request that I do tonight, so I'll go ahead and do that. So this one's called Lead and Lead, and I'll just jump right into it. So, Mama, some little loca at school said something about how they don't want any more of us Mexican babies. She said they tied a big bow in your choo-choo. Mama, what is forced sterilization? Forced sterilization. Mama, Carlos said our water tastes like it could catch fire. He shook his cup and swears he saw chips of flint. Mama, why is lead spelled the same as lead? And who is leading us? And where exactly they leading us to? Mama, some big man came from some big city, said something about a big pipeline, said something about private property, said it was his, not mine. Look, whatever he did, it messed up my braids and I couldn't walk real good afterwards. Mama, what is eminent domain? Mama, Carlos called from the inside, said he and all the boys on strike, said something about Nicaragua, about La Contra, about the war on drugs, said he ain't sewing American flags for 10 cents an hour no more, said he ain't no Betsy Ross, said he more Rick than Betsy, said they set us up, Mama, that they pinned us Mexicans against blacks, against poor gringuitos, said the 13th Amendment got 2 loopholes called handcuffs, said Jesus already came back, but the big boys deported him. Mama, can you call God from the inside? Does God return voicemails? Will God know what number to call to get a hold of Carlos? You know, Carlos said, stop waiting, stop watching the television, stop drinking the water. I asked him when he's coming back, but there was this big click and a buzzing noise. Mama, when will big men from big cities stop building walls and bombs and prisons and pipelines? And when will Carlos come back? When will the water be safe to drink in Flint? I mean, does it clean itself? Or does it have to catch fire first? Thank y'all so much.
Wow.
Stay safe. In N95, we trust, but even more is our love, our power, and our familia and community. So thank y'all so much. Such a blessing and honor. Thank you.
Palabra.
Gang. Show some love again to Patrick. Oh, I'm sorry. Show some love to Chris, Camila Elizabet. I'm sorry.
Patrick.
They're not Patrick. There's long story. We're not going to get into that. But someone really care about over at Bay Area Creative. Yeah, give it up for the poet one more time. I told you, fucking amazing. In N95, we trust. Thank you for showing some love. We're gonna get right into round two, and yeah, let me just pull up the list for that. I'm sorry, y'all. I kind of had to recover myself. I hit some weed, and the weed hit me back. Yeah.
I feel that shit.
You know, everyone gets there every now and then. We're not all susceptible to this. So, like I said, round one. Round two, reverse order. So yeah, here we go. Round two, the order is we're going to be going Colin, Vita Manzo, Chef, Dog Days Are Over, Mai, and then Reggie. That is your order for round two. Please give it up for your poets one more time. All right, gang. Alrighty, so we're no sacrificial poet in this round. We're just going to go straight into it. So in transition, we have Chef. Crowning is Vita Manzo. Being born on this virtual stage for round two. Please give it up to Colin.
Let's go.
Colin.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
I can hear you.
Lakeside Park, Juneteenth, 2021. 1. Something about the summer heat makes the liquor boil in your belly. With each bead of sweat, patience leaves your body. It's wet t-shirt weather. It's summer again and niggas are dying. There's something about the heat that makes niggas reach for it too. The sun stretches out its arms and calls a few more of us back home. All this heat and we still stuck wearing black. It took 2 hours to bury that man. The ground don't crack open easy these days. Metal bounces off like it's bulletproof because even the act of dying is harder this time of year. 3. The block has always been hot, so I've been thirsty, been calling out for water and only got blood, a bullet, a body soaked in its family's tears. You dig into my flesh, fill me with your dead and call me a living thing. 4. When the earth is full, it sends me the bodies it can't swallow. And look how you flock to me for safety from the heat like I ain't been swallowing niggas like you for generations. You know, everybody in this city knows someone with an epitaph in my depths. The whole hood crowds my banks each summer. I tempt more and more into my gullet with each passing year. Juneteenth, niggas celebrated their freedom. And I reminded them that I still hold chained bodies in my stomach. I devoured a few more to remind them that I am still hungry. That bullet holes make a body sink quicker. 5. It makes me physically sick being so surrounded by death and sweltering heat. I oftentimes wake up with a headache and an obituary for a familiar face, and the weatherman says it's only gonna get hotter, which means niggas only gonna keep shooting, only gonna keep dying. The ground will swallow as many bodies as it can carry and the lake will claim the rest. I mean, niggas will still chill by the water on Saturday. Last week's deaths are erased by this week's tide. The weekend fills Oakland with new life. A procession of dirt bikes, four-wheelers, and lowriders cruise down Grand Avenue in a way that makes it seem like nobody just died here. Nobody could die here. Bullets have no place at the cookout. Don't you smell all this food? Don't you hear all this music, all this laughter, all this joy? Don't you see that this is how we mourn? We turn vigils to celebrations. A homegoing for everybody that drops here. We'll just throw a couple more burgers on the grill. Take a few more sips of cognac. The DJ plays another track and we all sing, tell me when to go. Tell me when to go. And instead of going dumb, we go home before a bullet makes a house out of our bones. The only home going tonight is an evening commute down the interstate. The lake left littered with empty bottles, trash, and an overwhelming sense of joy. This moment filled with music and dance and laughter and a hope for a better tomorrow. This is something not even death can take from us.
Give it up for the poet one more time.
Go.
Y'all. Thank you for showing so much love. My God. Judges, this is your time. Be judgy. I know we have like a little 12, 10, 15-minute break or so. But yeah, send your scores over to our scorekeeper, the keeper of scores, and we will keep the round going. Let me pull my list back up. In transition, we have Dog Days Are Over, crowning a Chev, but being born on this stage right now. Please, everyone, put your hands together for Vita Manzo. Give it up for Vita.
Hi. Okay, so this poem is actually a response poem to an art piece called Undocumented Corazon by Maria de Los Angeles. And there's also a few references in here from Salt of the Earth, which is a movie. You can look it up, but here it is. Men, stay at home. Soy Esperanza Quintanero, badass Latina and mother. Men, stay at home. Leave me alone, for I refuse to be your servant. It matters not you battle thought, for soy Latina and I am strong. It matters not you battle for salt, for I feel the revolucion pulsate through my ribs, something you, a man, have never felt, like a mother, like me, on your chest. Speak your shit, on your machismo. Yet I am with child of Quetzalcoatl, revolucion, and the undocumented. La migra is a joke until the baby cries before the mother mourns. Every grito es para mi ancestros. Our feet are sore with you, Esperanza. I will cradle your child of salt. A winsome warmth on the gas burner stove, tortillas with freckles like mine. And I have learned from you and many to carry my own corazon. Thank you.
Gang. Give it up for the poet, everybody. Awesome. Yeah. Some more love. Thank you so much. That caught me off guard, but it's always appreciated. Let's see. Our previous poet, Colin, got a 28.3. Suck the scores. Give it up for the poet. Once again, suck the scores and give it up for the poet. Woo, 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 woo. Poetry is just amazing to me, and I really enjoy being here every Wednesday night. Usually I'm bat managing, and if you see why I'm giddy, it's because I enjoy hosting, but I also get way too anxious for this kind of stuff. But enough about me. We're going to continue with the show, because in transition, we have my crowning. We have Dog Days Are Over, but being born on this stage, right? Everybody, please put your hands together for Chef.
Let's go.
Go, poet. All the way to the mic. Oh, there we go. Coming to the mic. He got it. Show some love to the poet one more time.
Can you hear me?
Woo! Loud and clear.
Oh, okay. The last time I talked to my dad, he tried to kill me. Said, if you can't honor thy father, you can meet the Holy One. And I thought of what I'd ask. I wonder if God watches the world burn because he never had a higher power to hold him accountable. I wonder if he watched us fail to keep his son safe and never gave anything holy again. Does he ask us to kneel to him because he's scared to love on equal terms? And what could he wanted to escape so badly? He created a brand new world. I constantly questioned God and looked for answers in my father. Like when your parents left Jamaica, a child chasing an American dream, did you ever age? Did you freeze yourself in time to avoid the burn? Did you make a spine out of unsaid apologies and glue it together with ego? Did you grow a God complex with no one to hold you or hold you accountable? When you left your first son in Jamaica, did you become a Holy Ghost? Did you watch immigration fail to keep him safe and never give anything holy again? When you married my mother, did you ask her to kneel to you because you were scared to love on equal terms? Did you cheat because you never knew a God to love just one person? Was your wife and 2-year-old me something you wanted to escape so badly you created a brand new world, a second family, just to prove that you could be omnipresent? I wanted to be just like you. Saw your reflection, a stained glass window to all the divinity in myself, but I call my siblings and they say the sins of our father have visited them more times than you have. I talk to my mother and wonder if I look too much like you to pray for. I've been nailed to unsaid apologies, arms stretched out from all the reaching out you won't do. Did insecurity for your veins like ink does a Bible? Did you know humanity too well to trust it? You snatched my mother's cell phone like you heard Satan on the other end. Scared she might be doing the same shit you had done for decades. You say, who this? The voice back was deep enough to reach all the hellfire in your belly, and you pushed her like you ain't never loved that woman, like she ain't make this house a home and a church. You get ready to rain down, and it's the same story, but this time I know an ark that'll stop the flood. This time my arms are long enough to box with God. My hand finds his chin. My dad finds a kitchen knife and holds it tighter than he has ever held any of us. Says if you can't honor thy father, then you can meet the Holy One. But today, you're about to dance with the devils you made, and mom jumps in between us. She say, seeing you become a man that way, it cut deeper than that knife ever could. I won't have one of you dead and the other in prison. I've seen far too many black gods go out that way. And somehow, my mother is omnipresent enough to be there for the both of us. I've seen her cry a river of tears and learn to walk on them. She's taught me how to wash and pray and fight my demons without having to become one. I am the sun, but my mother is everything I know about shining. My mama will burn this world down if it ever failed to keep me safe. She taught me that love is finding someone worth kneeling to. And when I ever need to escape, I call the same cell phone. She has made me a brand new world in her voice, y'all. My daddy got a God complex, but my mama was God.
Gang, 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 gang.
Beautiful. Let's go.
Love for the poet. You know what to do, judges. This is your time. This is your reminder to send your scores over to your scorekeeper. I know it's really hard judging art, assigning like numbers to art, but you know, Leonardo da Vinci did it, so I'm pretty sure, you know, we have a certain idea of what we can do. I forgot to mention, or maybe I did mention this, I don't know, I'm high already, but we are here every week. We just came back from like our holiday hiatus earlier in the month or whatever, and so we're going to be here every week online for the foreseeable future until we can get our venue up and back and running, and things are a little more safe for everyone to be like, you know, a little more whatever is safe anymore. Anyway, basically, we have some amazing features coming up, and next week, you don't want to miss this. We have another amazing feature. Alexandra Collins, a poet based out of Santa Cruz, California, is going to be joining us here later next week and everything. So if you want to sign up, our sign up list for next week too as well is already up and running on our Linktree, linktree.com /Rich Oak events. So anyone here who is signed up, or if you're at home and you're like, you know what, I want to throw down, I want to win some money, because there is some money on the line tonight, like, you know, and there's some money online every night, every week, you know. So if you want to, you know, if you want to just throw down, get some chops, like, you know, like, do it, like, you know, because if you, obviously, as you see here, all the poetry, all the poets here are being brave, and the shit is fire. So yeah, come support, or come sign up and judge. I don't know. Come be a part of the soon. Like, be a part of it. Anyway, moving forward, let me pull up this. Why do I keep doing this? In transition, we have our last poet of the round, Reggie. Crowning is my, but being born on this stage again for a second time, please give it up for Dog Days Are Over.
Woo!
Silent, a meditation on the portraiture of my brown queer. Too many marginalized voices continue to silence our throats and limbs, even after the hands choking us and over our mouths have faded into aerial time. Opening a closed throat can take more than fingertips. Larynx still frigid to newly blood-warmed fingertips. Fingerprints spiral, novel skin rose hued warmth into their crevices. This newfound living totem, a metaphor for the same way we can still rejuvenate the branches, and our voice can still encourage its delicate green shoots to reach its minuscule fingers towards a sun it cannot see yet. A hurricane of hands can prism sun rays and illuminate your throat. Your voice sees blurred collages of color as the distance it must reach to reach the tip of your tongue, always mean a chance to sharpen their edges in your vision by vibrating the chords in your throat, to fine-tune their ridges into crystalled clarity. Sometimes a pale cis-het-induced wound blooms a revolution. I will always be a semi-eternal song. No more waiting for any soul to open my mouth at the seams for me. No more waiting for anyone else to bleed my crimson rivulets for me. Never going to kill the sun and moon dancing on my tongue. Watch as their music tells you how I bled all the silent out of me today. Today is my throat as a freed violin soaring in harmonic clarity. Strings of song reaching their finger-like fibers deep into the crevices between your cranium. My thickening, sturdy taproots ground me in miracles I can't comprehend. Remembering my blooming, wild, prickly roses can tee away sore throats like the flowers that would pass indigenous throats muted by history. Genocide is successful when the survivors screaming is still mangled as decrescendoing whispered echoes in the caves of their descendants, throat and language collapsing because they became pained by their own excruciating silent weight, because store raw skin still heals faster than husked, gaping, unscabbed wound. You must reopen to bleed into closing itself properly. On the second attempt of mending, resuscitation, I'm always rebirthed chameleon, steadfast shapeshifter. You'll never catch me by the neck alive.
Give it up for the poet one more time. That was Dog Days Are Over. Gang, 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 gang. And that is my watch letting me know that I should be mindful, but I'm gonna be mindful later because I have some more packing to do. Yeah, awesome. Our previous poet, after a time penalty, can we all say, please, fuck a time penalty?
Fuck the time penalty.
Fuck time penalty.
With consent, and preferably if you have it lubed, you know. But also, our poet got a 26. Once again, fuck the score. Give it up for the poet one more time.
Fuck the score.
Please give it up for the poet.
Fuck that score.
The way I say this is a really, like, you know, slam is just a game with numbers and time, and like, you know, it's just a gimmick to get like a bunch of poets in a room, so we can do this and, like, you know, like show off our writing. So, but yeah, anyway, we're gonna keep moving forward because in transition we have announcing the slam, who won the slam and all that good stuff. Crowning is Reggie, but being born on the stage right now, our penultimate poet of round 2. Please give it up for Mike.
Woo! Can y'all hear me okay?
Yep.
Sick. Content warning, homophobia and Christianity. You were a good woman of God. The old white bitches at church use past tense for good, not woman. White old bitches still see me as woman, still want to drown me in unholy water until I cough up all the queer or die. Shirley from church used to play with my hair, called me a good little girl. Now she talks shit with the offering plate in hand. gives me up to a God that she thinks can fix something that was never broken in the first place. White flowers overflow the altar every week. Stained glass lets the light in, polished wood on every pew. Only sinners come to a church, though. Only sinners need a God they think will save them. Confessionals were the only place I ever lied in that church. Reverend studied skin through grates, devoured the last of any hope. The darkness of that seat was akin to the hell spoken of in sermons. People preached about saints, used the sanctuary as an excuse for judging what they thought to be a sinner. I was always a sinner to them. You cannot commit a sin to a God you don't believe in. You cannot turn your back on a church that never took you in. You cannot be sent away to a hell that was always here. Shirley told me the ways I could cut the devil out of me, quoted scripture and twisted it into a death sentence. Old white bitches shoved a Bible in my face and showed me how a blackout poem of any page would read as a suicide note. A priest is the most holy irony, though, a so-called sinner the second his work is done. This church, the birthplace of finality. Sermons created deathbeds, pastors prayed in hospital pews for loved ones. So-called Christians created the casket to my loved ones. This church, the culmination of fatality. Isn't that how the Bible reads? Anyways, everyone returns to dust. God sent down the floods to destroy his creation. Jesus slaughtered for whoever a false translation created to excuse the massacre of bodies too similar to mine. The church took me, drowned me in false praise and moments made for eulogies, slaughtered me in false translations suited for excuse to kill. I've been crucified by a confessional that never really wanted the truth. Thank you.
Give it up for the poet. Woo!
Let's go.
Gang, gang, gang. I made the terrible mistake of like finding this candy as I'm packing, and it's like the one with like the color dye and the sugar, and so like there's a little blue in my mouth on the light. You can kind of see it. That's what's going on right now. I just noticed that right now. Kind of funny. But yeah, previous poet. Let me get the scores. Our previous poet, Dog Days Over, got a 25. Fuck that score. Please show some love to the poet. There we go. Yes. There's always like that little second awkward delay. But yeah, in transition is me doing some more packing. Crowning is me announcing the winners, sending all of you home, making sure that like, you know, things just like, you know, house cleaning rules or whatever. And then being born on this stage right now is our last poet of the round. Please give it up for Reggie.
Let's go, babies. Let's go.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Loud and clear.
After Diane Seuss, the white people in my culture are ghosts. But these ghosts do not disappear at dawn's first night. Instead, they rise on the sun's rays. Everything that the light touches does belong to them, so they just march right up to the front porch, looking to turn our culture into a casket, a home into a haunted house. They knock on the door because they are polite, and we invite them in because they are polite. When they ask where the party is, we play music because we are polite, and they manage to fuck up the Soul Train line. So we play another song and another in the hopes that they will finally catch the beat. And when they do, they call it theirs. Say we don't dance right. So they show us how to move like the dead, how they twist and turn like a possessed thing. And this, being possessed, is the closest they have ever come to knowing who we are. These ghosts stay way past this little party they created. So when we cook a meal for us, they pull up a seat at the dinner table. There's not enough food to go around, so the youngest of our children will go hungry while they fill their bellies on our hard work, only to spit out the food and call it too spicy. So they show us how to cook right, how to banish our grandmothers from their own cookbooks, how to take heritage and make it easier to swallow by those who have no claim to it. I'm telling you, these ghosts, these white devils, these pale demons fiending after all of this light, they will sleep in your bed at night and carve their signature into the headboard. They will write their name on the deed and steal your house too, then send you to a plot up north. They'll say, this is a new home. It's just down the road. This is a smaller home, but it's not that far from all that we are forcing you to abandon. After all, that will be the land that we hunt when we have pulled off the life from this here dirt. They'll take and take and then say, don't be angry. This is your fault, after all. Remember when you left the door open, when you left us inside? That's why your mama always kept the windows locked too. Do you see what happens when you don't keep the monsters at the gate? Let me tell you about these ghosts. They devour more than locusts when you let them into your fields. They'll burn your entire house down if you give them just one match, then collect the ashes and call it prime real estate to build a graveyard fit for their ghostly children. They'll gather all your clothes and write their names on the scene. They'll crawl into your skin and then call your bones their own skeleton. I'm telling you, these ghosts are right outside now. They are banging at my door. They want me. I swear that they do. All that I own, all that I am, all of my blood I offer up as a sacrifice. Like if you drink from me, you cannot stay here. But these ghosts don't listen. These ghosts don't care. They take a sip of my wine and then will spend the night anyway. Maybe the year, a lifetime even.
Give it up for the poet. Show some love. Oh my God. That was the end of the second round. Judges, this is the last time I'll be asking you tonight to send your scores over to the scorekeeper. So send your scores over to the scorekeeper. Our previous poet got a 20. Hold on, there's a crack on my screen, so I can't read that. Let me move this over. That is, yeah, that was right. A 28.5. Fuck that score. Please give it up for the poet. No one's giving it up for the poet. Give it up for the poet. Give it up for Mike. Give it up for Reggie. Give it up for Chef. Give it up for Vita. Give it up for Colin. Give it up for Dog Days Are Over. Give it up for Camila. Everyone who slammed here tonight, shared a poem, did the bravest thing that they could fucking do, which is like, you know, get on a stage and like spit something off the top of their dome. Or like something that was just maybe even freshly written. My God. It has been very difficult being neutral tonight. I hope I did my best job, but like, you know, hosting is a lot of fun. So we're just going to be giving Prophet a little more time to figure out what is going on with the scores and let me know announce who the winners are. Yeah, so once again, if you're at home, thank y'all so much for being here. If you are catching us on YouTube or catching us on Facebook, make sure, like, you know, like, if you're on YouTube, go over to our Facebook, go like us over there at the Berkeley Poetry Slam. Go like us on Instagram at like, you know, at the Berkeley Slam. So like, follow us on Twitter at the Berkeley Slam. And if you're on Facebook, like, you know, do the opposite. Go to YouTube at Bay Poets Unite. Go follow us over there and subscribe. Like, you know, because we do this on a weekly basis. Like we try to keep this up on a weekly basis and everything. Like, you know, grant funding be damned. But yeah, go over there. And also, like I said, if you enjoyed anything that you see that you saw here tonight, if you really just enjoy the shows and you want to, like, you know, having some amazing features come through, like, you know, please, like, you know, go over to patreon.com/events and go donate over there, because, you know, we really do appreciate that extra cushion of cash. And since we won't be doing in-person shows, there is we're not going to be with people, and it's going to be really sad, and we're not going to be able to, like, you know, get like people to see these really dope amazing people like in person, but they will be online. So, you know, that's the one thing I'm looking forward to, like, you know. Yeah, so there's that. Our previous poet, Reggie, I think I'm reading that correctly, got a 26.3. Fuck the scores, give it for the poet. Prophet is figuring out the whole math stuff right now, but let me keep going and filling y'all in with some really good stuff. Yeah, because this is an amazing night. Camila, is there anything you want to plug about for yourself in terms of, like, you know, anything you're selling, books, content?
No, I'll
Where
drop
can we
my
find
IG
you?
handle though.
Where can we find you?
On IG is like where I tend to post poetry, but I'm working on it. I probably should create an actual poetry account, but I'll drop my handle. So that's for now. That's I don't have any chapbooks to sell, but when I do, I'll definitely have those available to get one on my handle.
If you enjoyed our feature tonight, Camila, go follow them at Sociology on Instagram. That is how the word sociology is spelled, but with the word soul at the front, which I think is really dope. I never really thought about it like that. And like, I was around so many social majors in college, and yes, they were all miserable, just like me. the literature major. At the humanities department of all places, like, you know.
Oh God, it's the truth.
College was so much fun. You're not getting that money back, Sally Mae. Sorry. Not sorry. Alrighty. Crimes. Anyway, we have our scores for tonight, and yeah, this is good. Thank y'all so much. Y'all are all amazing poets. Know that I enjoyed and loved everyone's poetry tonight, and I think someone said tonight was just basically fuck Jesus and the clicking claims, and that was 100% agreed. Anyway, reading the scores. With a total score, actually, drum roll. With a total score of 55.2, your poet in third place. Give it up for Shan.
I genuinely had no idea. Lost track. Appreciate it.
Taking away $20 tonight. Thank you so much for being here. Happy Wednesday. All right, drum roll again. In second place, earning 57.4. Give it up for my.
Woo!
Go. Thanks.
Oh, you fucking killed it. Gang, 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 gang. Oh, everybody killed it. Alrighty. And lastly, in first place, earning 58.3. Your winner for tonight. Take it away, Colin.
Here, Colin.
Thank you, everyone. This money shall be going to the Rizzle Diaper Fund. Wait, what's that? Oh, I have been told that we just bought diapers, so this money will be going to the Real Nigga Weed Fund. Thank you, everybody. Also, that first poem I forgot to say, but like I wrote that in the workshop. Shout out to Camila. If you ever want to write, nah, that poem wouldn't have happened without your prompt. And if you ever want to find a space to write, please check out the workshops. They're really amazing spaces to get your thoughts on paper. Thank y'all.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that shout out. Check out our workshop next week. It's gonna be ran out by our feature, Alexandra Collins, Allie, if you know them personally. Yeah, check out our amazing lineup for February. I have some few people confirmed and everything. I don't want to spoil it, but yeah, I'm telling you, you don't want to miss any of our shows that are coming up in the next few months, because it's gonna get many. Because February is Black History Month, and we wouldn't be like an organization if we were like what we are about if we didn't get predominantly a Black lineup for next month. And we wouldn't, and also after that we have Women's History Month, so you know, like the voices that we're going to be channeling for the next few months are going to be necessary for the space that we have cultivated here. So stick around for the next few weeks because you don't want to fucking miss this shit. Yeah, I've been your host, Tino BH Jr. This has been Berkeley Slam, part of the Rich Oak events stuff. Go follow us at Berkeley Slam for any and all our events. And yeah, have a good Wednesday. Buenos nachos y a todos un buen nacho.